Happy day, children. This is Class 5 SST, Latitudes and Longitudes, Part 1. Before knowing about latitudes and longitudes, first you need to know what is an axis. So, axis is an imaginary line which you can see here. So, it is passing through the North Pole, then center of the Earth, and then through the South Pole. So, the Earth you can see here, it rotates around this axis. So, when Earth rotates itself, it causes day and night, and it is called as rotation. So, next we will see about globe. So as you see in this picture, the earth is rotating itself. So globe is a model of the earth. Okay, so all the continents, whichever you can find in earth, everything you can find in globe. Okay, so what is the use of globe? Is just used to locate all the places, and you can find all the routes, especially sea routes and air routes, etc. Okay, and also globe, it helps to locate continents, oceans, rivers and cities. So here children, you are finding an earth picture, and you have many new terms here, right? So these are the important lines of latitudes. So before knowing about these new terms, first you need to know what is called as a latitude. Latitudes are nothing but imaginary line which moves from east to west. Okay, so now you can ask, ma'am, why we need to know about latitudes? What is the use of learning about these latitudes? It is because these latitudes helps us to locate all the places around the globe. Okay, so you have many imaginary lines. With these imaginary lines, we can allocate different places. Okay, in terms of climatic condition. Okay, we can differentiate the climatic condition in each zone, in each latitude. Okay, so that is the reason why we are learning about latitudes. Okay, so first important line of latitude is equator. So what is called as equator? Equator is a line which runs from east to west, and it divides the earth into two equal halves. Okay, so it divides the earth into northern hemisphere and southern hemisphere. So this part, if you can take above equator, all the parts are marked as northern hemisphere, and here if you take all the parts below equator, they are marked as southern hemisphere. Okay, so I have marked as N and S. N denotes north and S denotes south. Similarly, this equator is measured as 0 degree, and below equator you have Tropic of Capricorn. Okay, so it is measured as 23.5 degree south. And again, here Tropic of Cancer is measured as 23.5 degree north, and above Tropic of Cancer you have important latitude, that is Arctic Circle. Okay, so it is measured as 66.5 degree north, and here you have Antarctic Circle is measured as 66.5 degree south. So these are the degrees which denotes the important lines of latitudes. Okay, and there are 90 lines of latitudes above equator, and similarly below equator you have 90 lines of latitudes. Okay, so totally you have 180 lines of latitudes around the earth. Okay, so next we will see about the longitudes. So what are longitudes? So latitudes, you have learned that it runs from east to west. So now if you take longitudes, these are the imaginary lines which runs from north to south. So I am marking here N and S. Okay, so these are the lines of latitudes running from north to south. Okay. And you have many lines of longitudes. There are 180 lines of longitudes in the eastern hemisphere, and similarly in the western hemisphere you have 180 lines of longitudes. So there are 360 lines of longitudes around the earth. So the 0 degree line of longitudes is called as prime meridian. Okay, so the prime meridian. So all the lines of longitudes as you see here, it is measured as different degrees, 20, 40, 60 and 80. Around Earth, if you take, there are 360 lines of longitudes. So next, now we will learn what is the difference between latitudes and longitudes. So as I told you, latitudes, they are running from east to west, and longitudes, they are running from north to south. And latitudes, if you take, you have many important lines of latitudes, and above equator you have 90 and below equator you have 90. So totally you have 180 lines of latitudes. Whereas if you take longitudes, you have 360 lines of longitudes, and it is from north to south. Okay. And now if you see here in the picture, in latitudes, all the lines of latitudes, they are parallel to each other. So if you take here, all the latitudes, they have drawn a line here. So they will not meet each other. Okay, so all the latitudes, they are not meeting each other, which means they are parallel. Parallel means any two lines which does not intersect, which does not meet each other. So they are called as parallel. So similarly, if you take latitudes, they are not meeting each other, and that is the reason the other name of latitudes is parallel. Okay, so here if you take longitudes, they meet at the poles. So a red line is drawn over here. So can you see here? So this place, so this important line of longitude, that is 0 degree, and all the longitudes, they all meet at the poles. Okay, so these are the main differences between latitudes and longitudes. So next, now you can find a picture here. So what is it? It is a model of Earth, right? So here in this picture, can you see all the latitudes and longitudes all are drawn together, right? So you can find a grid over here, find a network over here due to latitudes and longitudes. So the network of latitudes and longitudes, that is called as a grid. Okay. So thank you children. In next video, we will learn how to locate a place with the help of latitudes and longitudes. Okay. Thank you children.